Welcome everyone. This is our first installment of Monroe Elementary School's Personalized Learning Journey. Today we're going to talk to a couple of teachers and staff members about some exciting things that have happened over the last year and just try to get a sense of what's on the horizon, what was successful, just some basic questions that might help you along your journey towards personalized learning. So we're just waiting for some of our teachers to go ahead and get started, and then we'll go ahead and start asking questions. Just a little bit of information about Monroe Elementary School. We are a neighborhood school of almost 700 students, and we're in the heart of Riverside. We have a fairly large population of English language learners. Our goal every year is to build the capacity of students to be able to be a lifelong learner, not just someone who's taught, but to really take that learning to the next level. Ultimately, we'd like to see all of our students successful in going to college or at least participating in a career past school that's meaningful, beneficial, and really relies on the skills that they've acquired throughout the school year. So we're still waiting for our teachers to get on, and once that happens, we'll go ahead and look to see what kind of questions we're going to be asking most of our teachers. We'll have a 6th grade teacher who's been working with her students on a variety of skills to be able to enhance their technology integration into the core curriculum. We'll be talking to 2 4th grade teachers, one that really takes a look into allowing students to show their understanding of a skill in a variety of ways, and then also the ability to, the other 4th grade teacher is just getting to the point where she has such a variety of things going on that students have a lot more choice in what they're doing and when they're doing it. So let's go ahead and see where our friends are here. Oh, welcome. How are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me? To the point where she has such a variety of things going on that students have a lot more choice in what they're doing and when they're doing it. So let's go ahead and we almost have everyone on.
Michaels is here.
Where our friends are here.
I'm going to shut the door. These people are loud.
Oh.
Deaver, you're late.
Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Good. Your Google
Can you guys hear me?
Hangout.
Fine.
There's such a variety of things going on that students have a lot more choice in what they're doing and when they're doing it. So let's go ahead
And
and
it joins in. If you click on the email, it'll show.
almost have everyone on.
Michaels is here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I told Deaver to get his act together.
Well,
Where is he?
uh,
Can you guys hear the background noise, or should I move?
what's going on in the background?
I don't know, it's just people in and out. Can you hear them or no?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Let me know if I need to move.
No, I mean, because I don't have to. Yeah, no, I'm not yet. I have to check. It has to do with the materials and stuff.
I don't understand how this works.
I know. So just yeah,
Just let me know.
But what I need to talk to you about though is I need to
You're not recording yet, are you, Christian?
It stopped. It started recording a long time ago.
I need
Warning, please. Warning.
I can always edit and
How did it go?
after the fact.
Really good, really good. They liked it. They were all engaged. I videotaped it, so if you want to see it. Yeah, they were all like, they loved it. Yeah. And they gave feedback
Were
to
you
the.
surprised at them?
No, they all liked it's hard to it was hard to choose. Like they all liked
So
all
it
of
wasn't
them.
like really great.
No, they were all pretty much, you know
Darn
what I mean?
expensive.
So
Your new
yeah, it
iPad
was
mini
really
didn't come with a
good.
set
If
of
you get a
headphones?
chance, we'll show you the video so you can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, ask them. They did a good job. I mean, they were awesome.
Did they like doing it?
Yeah, first they were complainers, but once they got it done, they were like, they loved the experience. They were like, oh my gosh, they learned that they could do so much more than they expected. You know what I mean? They were like amazed, you know? It was awesome.
Yeah, it's more than it was yesterday. We don't want to leave this sofa anymore. Okay, here goes.
Sandra, it picks up every single sound in there.
Okay.
You know where the psychologist hangs out?
Yes. Can I go there?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if it's available. Visnik, I'm gonna have to move. Oh shoot. We're gonna do some partner. She's gonna give me the fast track on cumes. But I'll figure it out.
It's like a go cam that you have going on. Sandra, you're walking with your camera.
Yes, I am. You don't like it's locked and it says do not disturb.
You could probably come into 25.
You're in there. That's gonna be cheesy. I'll just go to my room. Give me a minute. I'll just go to my room.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? Sandra, go to Vicky's office. I swear I'm going to scream. Nobody can hear me.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Oh.
She's already too far down the hall.
Could you hear me before I unplugged, Tina? Or
No, I could not hear you before.
so I can hear, but I can't talk. You guys probably would like it that way, huh?
No.
Are you using your iPad for the Hangout?
My iPad? My new fancy iPad?
Are you,
I'm
either-
on a Chromebook. Should I
Oh,
go
you're
to
on?
an iPad?
Well, no, I was just wondering, you might not need the headphones. I think the headphones are just, you need that if, like you're on a laptop or something.
Do I need headphones then?
Before I unplug?
No, we can hear you.
Okay. No, I could not hear you before.
So I can hear, but
That's
I
on
can't talk.
delay.
You guys probably would like it that way, huh? Guess that's not the right thing.
No.
Google Hangout.
Christian, the kids loved coding today.
Did they?
Yeah, they had so much fun. When I told them we were going to do it again, they're like,
Not
yes!
you.
So excited.
What,
Hey, I'm good.
was it the one from that company that you got
Dean,
the
you're
email
not
from?
even showing up to be here.
It's through code.org.
Oh, I don't see you. Good thing we tested this out.
Well, we are technically live for the world to see right now, but
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but
You're
for
not
some
there.
reason I'm not in.
You have
No
to push
view?
the video on the right-hand side.
Or see him.
So what am I doing that's not working?
Dean, did you hear Tina? She said there's a video button on the right-hand side.
Go on. Okay, Dean's still trying to get on.
Okay.
He
Well, we can at least
see
start our
us all, but we
conversation and then. Okay. So I was saying before, this is our first Google Hangout with some teachers at Monroe Elementary School in Riverside, California, on our personalized learning journey. Over the last year, we've really been trying to implement technology into the core curriculum, really getting students to understand that they are the real person that needs to be deciding what's being learned, how it's being learned, what the focus is, and really determining what is suited to their needs and their abilities as we move forward. So we have a couple of teachers and our administrator here from Monroe to talk about some basic things that we've kind of encountered over the last year, our vision moving forward, and just everything that we really wanted to do to give just a little bit of information out there to some people that might be experiencing something similar, might be thinking about it, or just want to hear about another instance in which blended and personalized learning are occurring. So we're going to kind of do some introductions within our first question. So I was thinking that we could talk to Tina Lanou, who's a 4th grade teacher, and specifically, Tina, I was wondering, what's your expectation for technology use in the classroom?
Well, they're fully charged is the biggest issue I think I'm having with the kids this time around. They really know how to use the technology. They know how to get through. They know how to problem solve, which is huge because some of those problems I don't know how to do yet, and so they've really caught on, and they're teaching themselves and teaching them around them. They know what websites they're allowed to go to. When they're allowed to go to them. I rarely have problems in the classroom with them doing things on their device that they're not supposed to be doing. So this year they've really accelerated and are enjoying using it as a learning tool, not just a fun toy. So.
Thank you. Sandra Villasenor, who teaches 6th grade, I was wondering if you could also answer that question. What's your expectation for technology use in the classroom?
Well, it's very similar to Miss Lanou about the expectations of them having their devices every day because it is being used about 90% of their time, academic time. So the expectations are they bring it in on a daily basis, fully charged, expected to be used. The expectations would be, as well as she mentioned, that they know, where they need to get their information from, and them knowing how to troubleshoot or ask a partner on simple things of any problems with their devices. So that those are the basic expectations with technology.
Thank you, Sandra. So one of the things that I think really separates us from some other schools along our adventure is we have a very supportive administrator who's really looking to take advantage of her staff understanding the importance of technology use in the classroom. So I just wanted to kind of visit our administrator here at Monroe, Jenny Michaels, and get her feel of what she would like to see every time she goes into a classroom, especially with that lens of technology as we move forward. So Mrs. Michaels, can you share a little bit about what you'd like to see in a classroom when you go in, especially in our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classrooms?
Absolutely. We've tried to create an environment that not only supports every single student, but also provides the devices to allow for every type of platform or application available to students. When I visit classrooms, I look for creative ways to demonstrate learning. We started this journey focusing more on practice, that students developed an automaticity level in dealing with the basic facts, but we've evolved to be so much more than that, so that now we're not looking to see what students learn, we're looking to see what can they do with what they learn. So we've moved well beyond just practicing the basics, and we've really tried to teach students that they can demonstrate their learning in a variety of ways, and they get to choose what that looks like. So when I'm visiting classrooms, I'm looking for teachers who aren't trying to control the development of understanding. I'm also looking for classrooms where students are encouraged to take risks, and failure is a learning opportunity for students. And because we've moved forward in that way, our students have far exceeded what our expectations have been from the beginning.
Thank you, Mrs. Michaels. And I really, like I said before, Monroe is very unique in having an administrator really understand the importance of that technology use, but also support it in a way that is very meaningful not only to the students but to the staff as well. So we truly appreciate that here. Mrs. Villasenor, is there a specific subject that you kind of looked for a little bit better technology integration, or are you just kind of all subjects, and what's your feel on that?
She's muted.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. I was stating that I believe that you can find in all subject areas, but if you wanted to begin, I think the best area would be math. Is probably the best area to really start with the personalized learning and the information that's out there with the math. It's pretty clear with the Common Core and the standards where they match things. So I would say with math, but I believe you could find all areas, but there's probably more holes in the other subject areas.
Thank you, Sandra. Tina, is there a subject that you think you've really relied on to help that technology integration this year? Was it in math, or was it another subject area?
Well, as Sandra stated, math has been the biggest part where we integrated, but I also was using Guru to tie in my social studies, especially at the end of the year, creating collections for part of the social studies that we didn't get to, that they were able to go and explore on Guru, these websites and these videos and different ways to pull that in for them to do that. I also did a little bit with the language arts, pulling that in, but math seems to be right now for us the biggest focus. So I'm really trying to shift into how can I integrate technology and personalized learning into the language arts portion of it. So that's my next step and goal, is to do that, because I feel like math, we have a solid foundation of how to implement personalized learning with that. So moving on to how can I do it through the other subjects is, my next goal.
Okay, thank you. And actually, I'm going to have Mr. Deaver kind of jump in on my screen here, and he's going to actually talk to the same thing about subjects being used. Would you have personalized learning kind of the critical piece as we move forward?
And what I've done so far? Or?
Yeah.
I know I've done math quite a bit. That's been a huge focus this past year, but I've also transitioned into writing as being a huge component for personalized learning. And for next year, I'm looking to just incorporate more of the language arts. But math and writing have been really emphasized with personalized learning.
Thank you. I think that, to get a good variety, yes, I think math has probably been our primary focus here at Monroe, but I think there is definitely an avenue for every single curricular area as we move forward, and it's just a great opportunity. I'd like to hear from Mrs. Michaels, though, to see if she has any insight about what she would like to see kind of moving forward as we look into 2014, 2015. So, Mrs. Michaels?
As we move into the 14-15 school year, we're all very excited. We're looking forward to some opportunities to plan together because we do have such a strong base in math, and we've also moved along in science and social studies because of some of our priorities here at Monroe. Our biggest struggle is in language arts, and we're looking to see how can we move forward with personalized learning in language arts. And we're not sure exactly all the ways that we've seen so far isn't a development of understanding. It's more of a reading practice opportunity, and we will not settle for practice in how we move forward here at Monroe with personalized learning. So that's our next step, is to look to see what do we need to do and where do we need to grow professionally in order to bring the personalized learning more forward in language arts. Because we're also making the shift to Common Core standards, we want to make sure we develop in our understanding in that regard too. One area that quite a few teachers have made the shift is already in writing, and we're seeing amazing results from that instruction and development from teachers. And now the product is following. And so going back to my original mantra of it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know, I've seen quite a few teachers, especially on our design team, really take some big risks in having students develop completely unique opportunities to show writing in the 3 text types that are far different from the typical thing that we've done in the past. But we're looking to grow in our own understanding and how to personalize in language arts as we move forward here at Monroe.
Great, thank you. A question that I'm going to actually pose to Mr. Deaver here is, how can your students use technology to show competency in a curricular area? So I was wondering if you could kind of talk to that.
Yeah. One of the things is, as Mrs. Michaels just said, is in writing. It's been really fascinating to see the students show what they can actually do, like in a different way. So in writing, just for an example, we gave them an opportunity to write, to do like a graphic novel, and they had a chance to do it like on paper and pen, but also even digitally, either through a PowerPoint or even something called Powtoons, which is a animated website that they can do all sorts of fun things on it. And so they had that choice. And so as long as they actually had met the criteria of the assignment and followed the rubric, it was good. It was just a matter of they got to choose which way they wanted to actually demonstrate their ability, their competency. So that was really fun to see. And then even in math, that was, we have a chance to see that they're competent in different quizzes on a daily basis as well as a topic basis, and then of course even benchmark. We're able to see them online either through Khan Academy or even through our own math web program. You can see if they're actually reaching their goal. If they didn't, they knew which areas that they need to go back and even follow up on. So that was fun. And then one other area we did do in social studies, which was fantastic, is we provided an opportunity for them to really create a project. And part of it was using technology, even a new app that we found that we incorporated into the actual project. And so there was definitely different elements within every project, everything we did, that they can bring in technology. It wasn't always the end-all be-all. Sometimes it was, but bottom line, it was a chance for the kids to say, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I learned, and they followed the assignment requirements.
Thank you. I think that's some really great opportunities there for students to show what they know, like Mrs. Michaels was talking about before, in a variety of ways, whether it's the traditional method, whether it's infused with technology, or whether it's just a whole different experience altogether. So I was actually wondering if Tina could speak a little bit to her opportunities for students to show competency in a curricular area outside that traditional model. So Tina?
Well, as Mr. Deaver or as Dean talked about, we did a lot of very similar activities, I guess you could say, for the kids to show competency. I did have quite a few. I did a Genius project. It's the 20% time, kind of started by Google. And so I had started that, and quite a few of my kids, I was hoping that they would use technology in order to show how they, what they learned, and a lot of them chose to do, an old-fashioned, poster. They got all that information from, the internet and that they learned, but they wanted to do a poster from it. And so I think me just trying to open it up and show them the other ways that they can show the competency of it is going to be my next goal for next year, is giving them all those different options, because we did have the select few that we used, but I feel like there's so many things out there for the kids to try that they didn't have time to find those. So, again, Mr. Deaver and I had a lot of this very similar outcomes from that. So.
Good. I'm glad to hear that there's a lot of collaboration going on between other teachers, because I think that really allows for some security, and sometimes when we have numbers or at least someone else to bounce an idea off of, or a practice, or did it work for you, it worked for me type thing, I think it provides a lot of opportunities for growth in that model. So Sandra, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to opportunities that you've given your students to be able to show something that they've learned, but maybe in a non-traditional setting.
You're muted. There you go.
Different ways that, like they had stated, besides the online, I mean, what we like about the online is that students get to see the results right away. They get to see right away that they master that subject, and so we give, like in our class, an 80% correct and mastery. And then we're thinking about different ways for next year in which, even if they, let's say they pre-test or assess for the math before the actual lesson, they can move on. Even if they score, let's say they score an 80%, then they're going to work on that 20%, and thanks to the online results, they could see right away which areas they need to master before they could fully move on to the next lesson. Different ways, like project-based, like they had stated, they can show mastery. They have done PowerPoints based on the material. They have used, I think lately it was MoveNote. So they added their PowerPoint and then they explained it, kind of like not live, but like Google Hangouts recorded, explaining their PowerPoint. So that's a way of showing mastery. Trying to think, videos, they can show mastery. Videos. So I think the main thing, like we had stated, is we're working on giving them different options, choices. Like they can show mastery in their writing. They can do it traditionally, or they could do it through like Google Docs. They could do it through Storybird. So just giving them different types of choices to show mastery.
Thank you, Sandra. I think that's really great too. I mean, you listed quite a few programs in there that are online. Just a little side note, I believe every single one of the programs that Sandra mentioned are actually free online resources. Is that true, Sandra?
Yes, that's correct.
That's one thing that we really try to look for here at Monroe, is utilizing resources that are free, that are available, mainly online, not necessarily in a situation where we have to download apps for devices and things like that, but what's already out there that we don't have to use a whole lot of funds to be able to supply those students with that opportunity to show what they know in a creative and different way. So one thing, though, that I want Mrs. Michaels to speak to is what she would like to see kind of moving forward as we dive a little bit deeper into personalized learning. What are some of those opportunities you'd like students to be able to demonstrate their understanding, especially on a mastery level, versus just a competency level. So, Mrs. Michaels?
In regards to, I think the biggest leap we need to make is in regards to all subject areas, because we've developed so well in the area of math, and we definitely are getting towards mastery in math, and we found quite a few different opportunities for students to do that. Where we need to develop student opportunities is in the other subject areas. And I think with the design team and you know, some of our eager teachers here willing to take risks, I think we can go in all avenues. I'd like to see you know, even physical education be included. I'd like students to really learn how to set goals, monitor their progress, and aim for mastery. We're working hard to change the outlook for our students in to be accountable for their own learning and lead their own learning, and set goals of mastery, not just, okay, I finished something. And where we can begin to give them those opportunities will be based heavily on their interest. By capitalizing on where students are most interested, we can phase in all areas of the curriculum and kind of sneak them into being more eager to learn in areas they wouldn't normally, by capitalizing on a subject that they might be a little more interested in. So by having them own their learning and lead their learning in all subject areas, that's the next step for us. And I'm not sure that we know what necessarily that looks like, but we definitely aren't settling for competency. We are looking to mastery, and we're looking to mastery for all students in all areas.
Great, thank you. And one of the great things that I love that Jenny was just talking about there was there is an innate understanding that personalized learning revolves around that student, but the student has to set that goal. The student has to be able to monitor that goal and really understand, am I close to achieving that goal, or are there still steps that I need to do to be able to achieve that goal? And if so, where do I receive that support from? Is it from my classroom teacher? Is it from another teacher on campus? Is it from another student? Is it from their parent? Is it from someone outside, maybe a professor at a university? Those are all opportunities for a student to kind of look beyond themselves to look for that support in their achievement of that goal. So we're almost done here. We're just going to wrap up with one kind of last question for each of the members on the panel. We'll start with Mrs. Lanou, and we're going to ask her, what's one thing that you've done this year that really was kind of the light bulb for you in your classroom with technology, and then what's one thing you're going to work on for the 2014-2015 year? So, Tina?
All right. My big aha moment this year was, you know, we again really focused on math, and so the last few months really pushing personalized learning in math. And you know, one of my below basic students getting a proficient on her benchmark just from all of the time that she has been putting in, you know, with me on her own and things like that, and seeing her succeed. You know, just that one, you know, there's multiple students, but this one student especially, personalized learning for her just made a huge difference, and a huge, you know, light bulb in her went off. My goal for, again, next year, I think, is going to be how to incorporate language arts and really get it personalized for each one of these students, and to give them access to those resources of how they can show me that they've learned and they've mastered, you know, these standards. So that's what I'm pushing for next year.
Great, thank you. Those personal success stories, I think, are always great, and it really does. I think it's the reason that most of us got into teaching, was we wanted to be able to change lives and make things better. And really, as we kind of develop this personalized learning, I think it really gives us that opportunity to get personal with each one of those students, but also allows them the most potential for growth. So, Mr. Deaver, same questions to you. So what's something that was great this year and something that you're going to work on for next year?
I guess my aha moment was in math as well. One of my aha moments. It was fascinating to kind of let go of the reins and say, okay, you've got choices of how you want to progress with different topics. So instead of just limiting them to just the topic I was at in the whole class, I said, okay, go. And what happened was amazing engagement, and they started to self-reflect and become accountable to themselves and to me on their own. It was a great experience to see some of the kids who get it faster just go for it, but then also realize, wait a minute, I'm going too fast. I need to slow down a little bit and check myself. But then the ones to see everybody go, all right, I can choose. I can choose this way, or this way to learn, and it changed. It wasn't always the same choice every day, but they knew what they needed. And it was just amazing to see the kids light up, and the engagement level just absolutely increased, as well as their production. So that was good. My focus next year, I'm right along with Mrs. Lanou there as well, just trying to figure out how to really make language arts that personalized learning. I've got some ideas, but it's trying to put it all together, and not forgetting what we've already done. And I think actually just seeing with writing and social studies and even math, incorporating those same ideas, those same concepts into language arts and letting the kids go for it, self-reflection, have accountability, and really choose what they want to do.
Great, thank you. And again, those are great opportunities, to, especially as we move forward, to really start thinking about that. So next is Sandra. What's something that was great for you this year and something you want to work on next year?
I feel what was great this year was stepping back as a teacher. Not necessarily telling them this is, the assignment you need to do this, and that. And then in the past, you'd get the students that would do this, and that. And now by stepping back, I would just be very general and be like, this is what you need to, like if this is your standard, this is what you need to meet. And then from there, they go from it, and then they could decide, how am I going to do this? What does this look like? And then I noticed that some of them went past beyond what I had in mind. And so that was some awesome things for this year. I did notice those ones that were risk takers versus those ones that in the past were just tell me what to do. So I had to kind of work with them to take risk and find ways to get this accomplished without having the steps broken down for them. So that was some awesome things, being able to see that from our students this year. Next year, I think what we're going to be, my goal for my students is to, throughout the year, how to continue keeping them motivated to go on with learning, deeper learning, just keeping them motivated to continue and not just go past what needs to be done. So maybe thinking of motivation Mondays, goal settings, be more visual on their goal settings, and then having more feedback and see, so they can see more visuals and more reminders on, how they can go past their goals and continue, short-term goals and long-term goals. And I think that will be my goal next year.
Thank you, Sandra. I think that's really great. It's kind of interesting to think about what you're saying, that you're actually stepping away as a teacher, and it's not necessarily that you're being less impactful as that teacher, but your role is definitely changing into more of a facilitator and coach as we move forward, rather than just the only determiner of what's being taught that day for students to learn. So I think that was really great insight. Mrs. Michaels, I'm going to ask you actually a little bit variation on that question. So if other administrators are out there kind of listening, what's one thing that you think every administrator should know about what happened, something that happened this year, and something that they should hope to happen next year as they move forward with technology integration, Common Core, state standards, and just a plethora of other things as we move forward?
Good question. I think the biggest lesson that we learned was if we had time and a collaborative group, we could accomplish a lot more. But in that, I don't mean that there was a role out or an expectation that had to be done in a certain way. So I would say first build a calendar that's supportive of development, meaning people have time to collaborate and get excited about something and share the ideas. One of the ways that we did that this year was through a grant, and we did our Tech Tuesdays, which, you know, for those of you who don't know, Mr. Sorensen led us in those Tech Tuesdays, and each week was a different topic that we could develop into our classrooms at all the levels to support personalized learning and the integration of technology. By honoring teachers' time and paying them on a time card, they were more apt to come, because I knew inherently in developing something new there was an amount of extra time that was involved. And we also built in extra planning time as well. So once a month, every teacher had a half-day planning time with the grade level. That wasn't all spent on personalized learning or technology integration. That was all spent in collaboration, and built into that naturally was the technology integration and the beginning of personalized learning. So in focusing on the what, meaning the Common Core state standards, and the how was the personalized learning, that helped us develop more. The design team we have here at Monroe is incredibly dedicated and knowledgeable, but they also become tired of time. And the more we can honor teachers' time and give them a little bit extra cushion to do that, the more they're going to develop in their own understanding and expertise. You know, in regards to how we'll move forward, and how, you know, if someone is running a parallel program as we are with Monroe, I would say hold on tightly to that planning time. At this point, I don't know how I'm going to do that financially, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that teachers' time is honored. But I also would like to develop our collaboration beyond Monroe, and we do need to go global. You know, we've been kind of pioneering and working independently and reaching out to people as we can, and I would say to other administrators, develop a network and find people that are ahead of you, and begin partnering with them. And that's the next step for us, is to go global with partners for leading us, as well as partnering with our students. When we want students to develop their understanding in a certain area, we need to find resources for them and find people for them to match up with well beyond our walls here at Monroe. And again, that's time, and I honor people's time. I hope to be able to acknowledge that through whatever ways I can in the future, and I would recommend that to other administrators as well.
That's great, thank you. I mean, that's an administrator that is very supportive of her staff, and frankly gets a lot out of her staff. And it's not because she leads with a iron fist or anything. It's because she definitely treats her staff with respect, and her staff in turn gives her many more opportunities to grow and experience a great school here in Monroe. One thing that I just want to say before we leave. I appreciate anyone who was listening, and if you have any questions, you're more than happy to email Monroe Elementary School in Riverside, California at RUSD, and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions. In addition to that, I also want to just put one thought out there as we are departing. You know, for the last 30 plus years, we told kids as soon as they got into kindergarten, you need to sit down and you need to listen, and you need to not do anything until I ask you to do it. And now we're really trying to transition into an opportunity for students to do a lot of things on their own, and they're at that kind of impasse where they're trying to decide, do I ask for permission on how to do something, or do I just do it because I know how to do it? And that really is that fine line. So the younger we can kind of start allowing our students to be independent in a way that is meaningful yet supported still, I think it would help us in the long run, especially as we move along this journey of personalized learning, not only here at Monroe, but in Riverside Unified School District and across the nation. So with that, I'd like to thank you guys, and we'll probably be around again in about a month or so to answer some more questions of these great people here on our school design team for Monroe Elementary School. So with that, say thank you and goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.